my name. Shout my style like an energy. I never fall short, I just keep coming. I huff and I snort to the goal, yo. I ain't your friend, ho, I take you down, though. We fight for our rights, this isn't a game. We live for the ride, we're going down in flames. We don't give nothing when nothing is due. In the end, when it falls, it's on top of you.
Behold, you are now in the presence of the fly.
That's right. Ha ha ha. We're back. What's going on? Ha ha. Yeah. I'm back in the white today. You know how we get down. I know you miss me. The fight champ is still here. We got a lot to get into. But first things first. I am the street sweeper, the fly, the baddest man alive, and welcome to another jam-packed edition of the Fresco Show. What episode is this, Madam Right? What episode is this? Episode
14?
15? No, I think we're episode 15. 16. Ha ha! 16 episodes. Oh, it's been a long time coming. We've been running the streets. We've been running the voices. And we got it all on lock. Tune in, tap in, and let me get a seat. Hold on.
Every season, my season, every season, my season.
There it is. It's like a space for that for some reason.
Season, every season.
I ain't complaining though.
Season, man, as long as I'm breathing.
Yeah. Let me get settled in up here. One of the coldest theme songs in the game, I think. Let me get settled in. All right. Behold, you are now in the presence of the fly. All right, y'all. We are live all over the internet right now, folks. We are live on Facebook, Twitter, the Go Live Vegas app, Twitch, Periscope. We are all over the internet, y'all. What is poppin'? I'm feeling good. Madam Rice, how are you feeling this week?
I'm feeling well.
Feeling well. How was your weekend? How was your weekend for you?
Relaxing.
Yeah.
It was a nice, relaxing weekend.
It was good. It was a good little weekend, Had another battle like I always do. Taking on some monsters, taking on some big monsters, and I always show out, always show out. It was a real good time, folks. Don't forget to give us a call whenever you get a chance to, folks. We are live and we are taking calls, folks, so do not go anywhere. Man, first things first, Madam Rice, I need a drink. Usually get the brandy, the good ghetto stuff, but today I'm going a different ghetto. I'm trying something different. I'm going with more of the bourbon.
Ooh.
I'm going more bourbon today, so I picked this thing up. I got I'm the type of dude that drinks whatever. I'm not picky on stuff, but I do like to try new things every once in a while. I got this bourbon here. It's not the most expensive bourbon, but we're gonna try it anyways and see how it tastes. Yeah, let me pour this up. That's part of the show. We can get a little liquored up, Yeah. Bottoms up. Oh, that's kind of harsh, but you know what? I'm good. I'm good with it though. I'm good with it. We're gonna rock with it. That's what we're drinking tonight. All right, y'all. It has been a long time coming, y'all, but we are back here live. I'm so happy to see the Fresco Nation, the Fresco verse in full effect. We got to get to some topics, but let's go ahead with news on the fly. What we got here today, Madam Rice?
First topic on News on the Fly, the Elimination Chamber recall.
I will cap on this real quick. I know it's Raw going on live, but we saw Elimination Chamber last night. Of course, everyone keeps track of what's going on within the wrestling universe, especially when you're in the game. So we had to see what was popping. A big thing happened last night. Apparently, The Miz, after 10 years of being out of the main title picture, once again found his way back to prominence and became the WWE champion. Of course, defeating Drew McIntyre last night after he went through hell in an Elimination Chamber match. Of course, you know, he had help from my guy, one of my favorites in the circuit right now, Bobby Lashley. I was kind of surprised by this because they had so much foreshadowing that I thought it was a red herring. I was like, okay, well, they're talking about it so much. They got some kind of swerve.
What's a red herring?
A red herring is more like, you know, okay, like they want you to think it's that, but then it's not that. It's something else. You know, it's you know, like Scooby-Doo, you know, the red herring. Yeah, so it was one of those. However, we seen that, and then The Miz comes up and wins the title. Of course, titles only mean as much as what you put into it. However, I thought it was interesting to talk about because we seen The Miz for a long time. I think for most of my young adult life, I've seen The Miz wrestle.
Yeah, you know what? I love The Miz, and I love him and his wife's reality show.
Yeah. You know, here's a guy who wasn't allowed in the locker rooms. You know, was victimized and bullied and things like that, and wasn't really, you know, his way into the business wasn't the normal standards at the time. It was like kind of like an albatross. So they treated him like garbage, and he just kept going. Very, very tenacious in what he did and sticking around. Like, part of what I respect about guys in the game is longevity. When you're able to stay in the game, sustain yourself, and find a way to continue to be, even if in smaller terms, relevant, I think that's a skill set that should not be overlooked. You know, because this type of wrestling game, any game of entertainment, of staying relevant and staying on top of modern things is hard. It's not easy. Everyone's got a shelf life, it seems. And Miz has found a way to continue to kind of play the long game.
Yeah, persevere.
Persevere. And now, you know, you stay around long enough, you end up achieving a lot. I think he's a 2-time Grand Slam winner in WWE. I think the only 2-time Grand Slam winner, like full circles back. So just props to that. One more thing on that night, I will say, we finally get to see Edge take on Roman Reigns. That's been real lit the last several weeks. Roman Reigns has been killing it. He's one of my favorite people to watch. Everything I hear from him, I believe it. And Edge is one of the best storytellers in the game. So I'm looking forward to that, to see what's going to happen. And I'm in for the ride. Right now, I feel like wrestling in all types of facets is kind of clicking from levels from here to here to here.
To Bad Bunny. Just kidding.
Hey, Bad Bunny. Something about Bad Bunny is seeing him, like, you could tell he was a fan. You could tell he really, like, watched wrestling because he doesn't get it, but he kind of does. Like, you know, the way he talks, the way he does little intros and stuff, like, you could tell he has at least a lot of respect for wrestlers in the wrestling game. So, you know, I know that he's trying to get the cash in on him, but hey, he's using an opportunity to kind of do his thing and, you know, 24/7 title.
No, I am one of Bad Bunny's fans,
Oh,
especially
yeah.
after his Booker T music video where Booker T was dancing and
he was doing
it was
his
a
little,
fun time.
You know, he's doing a little robot walk. You know, you don't got much rhythm for a brother. You know, his little walk, but you know, it worked out.
Yeah.
It worked out. Okay, all right. What do we have next coming up?
We've got James Harden flops his way past the Clippers.
Okay, folks. You know I had to get on my Clipper tirades here, folks. Last night, the Clippers took on the Brooklyn Nets. They were fully healthy for only the second time in a number of weeks, right? They go on to play perhaps the best team in the East without Kevin Durant. The battle went on. And truth be told, I was very upset with the call. James Harden flopped on a drive from Kawhi Leonard, and the referees called it. It seems like whenever Harden has the ball in spots like that, look for them to try to get the refs call. I don't know what it is, but we got to stop this flopping stuff, man. You know I didn't grow up on the tough basketball like my dad and them grew up on, but I like good basketball too. So, but also on the same token, Clippers didn't do enough to really win that game. They just got, you know, they played hard to catch up at the end, but there were some mistakes that they made earlier in the game that really kind of did them in earlier. So no excuses from that. However, if you're a referee, you can't call a charge like that late in the game. It changes too much. However, I'm happy because I think we've shown the league right now that, you know, it won't be the Lakers. it will be the Clippers that are going to make the conference finals, and will take on Brooklyn Nets.
So when you say flop, do you mean they like fumbled the ball? If we were talking about football,
a little bit. So when they flop, it's like they're looking to get contact from the ref or a call from the ref because they're flailing around as though they're getting hit or damaged or or fouled.
Kind of trying to foul. Yeah.
So, they trying to sell it.
Okay.
They're trying to sell it to the ref, and the ref buys in. He buys into it and then gives them the call, even though they probably didn't deserve it. So, there's a little gamesmanship there. There's a little gamesmanship when it comes to, basketball. I don't mind it, but when you do end of the game, man, you got to let them play.
Yeah.
Point blank, period. What do we have next on News on the Fly?
WrestleMania week for the independents.
So it looks like the independents is starting to rise back up slowly but surely. I'm seeing a lot of dates being posted for WrestleMania week in Tampa. We're starting to see more events pop up here and there. Looks like we're about to get another situation going on, but it just kind of depends on how the world kind of reacts. It's going to be a key factor here. Pretty much right now it's open season. I feel like it's the Wild West of wrestling where everyone is trying to get their shine because, the rumor is that, people are trying to sign other people. So, the urgency is probably higher than it's been in a minute as far as being palpable and being seen and getting a chance to get that buzz. So, WrestleMania week for Tampa coming up in April, we will see a lot of upcoming and new stars show up there. Who knows? You might even see the Fly out there. So do not go anywhere on that. What do you got next on the News on the Fly?
Next is rest in peace, Butch Reed.
I want to touch on this. I wasn't on the air when Butch Reed passed before, but I wanted to kind of give my thoughts and story on Butch Reed for me. Usually when I was studying for wrestling, and then they told me to study tape, I wanted to watch a lot of guys from the Mid-South because I felt like they had a lot of things that involved character, things that involved real wrestling, but everyone was so invested in what was going on because they carried it like everyone believed it. And one of those guys that did it for me, one of the feuds was between Junkyard Dog and Butch Reed. Now, if you've never seen those two wrestle before, but you know who those two are, please check that out when you get a chance. It's great, whether you're just a casual fan or a wrestler looking for some film. Butch Reed's style is something that I've kind of carved myself up off of a little bit. He was a natural athlete, big, charisma. He, had style too. He's rocking the Jerry curl back then. And he just kind of made things work. He was a wrestler's wrestler. And he was a tough SOB. So seeing a lot of his stuff afterwards and seeing his interviews and just how he handled himself and the stories I've heard, rest in peace to Butch Reed, one of the pioneers of black wrestling too. One of the many North American champions. That belt in black wrestlers is kind of synonymous. There's been a lot of black North American champions between the 50s, 60s, and 70s. He was one of the best ones out there, setting the way. And, of course, his team with Doom, with Ron Simmons, was looking back on those. I look at Doom as like what me and Watson could end up being one day. So from Lights Camera Faction. And so just seeing him, legacy will not be forgotten. Rest in peace, Butch Reed. Yes. Go ahead.
What promotions did he wrestle?
He wrestled for a lot of territories back then. So like Mid-South Wrestling, Memphis Wrestling, Florida Championship Wrestling. He also did WWE for a brief stint. Of course, the infamous story about him supposedly supposed to win the Intercontinental Championship, but he no-showed the show that was going to happen. So that's a story that's kind of tied to him. But he's also a former multiple-time North American champion, and he went to WCW and had a great run as a tag team with Ron Simmons. So,
nice.
So his career is still very much validated. Do we have anything else, Madam Rice?
Just one more thing. Daft Punk calls it quits after 28 years.
Oh, man, this kind of hurt my soul. Coming up, I like a lot of different music. I like NERD and different flavors of ice cream, and Daft Punk was one of my favorites that kind of put me on a different type of sounds. So after 28 years, Daft Punk's calling it quits. They're retiring. And you know what's one of the funniest things? After all this time, I never thought to look up what they look like behind the mask, but behind the helmets. They've been wearing helmets for this whole time, or like little gear, so they don't know who they are. And I think that's kind of cool to have the fame, but you can take it off whenever you want.
Right, like the Mandalorian.
Yeah. Oh,
but the Mandalorian can't take his off.
Yeah, the Mandalorian for sure. But absolutely, big legacy prop to Daft Punk. They've been killing it for a long time, man. Music is still a big part of my life. So to see someone have, again, longevity is a big deal. Folks, we will be right back, but do not go anywhere. We're about to heat up soon. I present to you my top 10 Rogues Gallery. That's right. We talk about all of my enemies and who deserves the number one spot and what I think about each and every one of them, folks. And also, don't forget, later on, after that, we get a sit down with the one and only Cutthroat Cody. Don't go anywhere, folks. Keep it locked.
Are you looking for a reliable place to get a haircut? Or is it time for your man to get that shape up? Look no further than Las Vegas's own A1 Barbershop. Located in the heart of the Boulevard Mall to fulfill all of your hair needs. With top-tier barbers such as Slow, artist Cushy Jackson, and Fresco's personal barber Brennan.
What you got in this thing? See what you got up in here, huh? See what you got for me. What's in here? You remember 97 ECW? New Jack? Big Grimes? Hey, punk ass! Huh? Bats, huh? You messed with the wrong one. Burglar! You in trouble now! Whoa! Whoa! Yeah. Ha ha. Once again, welcome back to another splendiferous episode of the Fresco Show. Before we get started, let me get my second drink going, you know what I mean? Get my little bubbly popping. All right, let's get down to the nitty gritty, Madam Rice.
All right.
So, this weekend I thought to myself, what should I do for my topic of the episode? What should I bring up? What should I talk about? What's on my mind? Mm-hmm. And lately, I've been getting a lot of haters on my back, Madam Rice. I've been getting a lot of people trying to talk their trash and see what's up. So I said, you know what? Perfect time to put out a top 10 Rogues Gallery list for Fresco Matic. Now, mind you, my career is not that long yet. I've only had a career for about 3 years almost. However, somehow I've managed to piss a lot of people off. So, if you have the list there, Madam Rice, and if I got my guy ready for the pictures, let's go ahead and get started with who is number 10 on this Rogues Gallery list.
Number 10, Kyle Hawk and Bobby Beamer are tied.
We'll talk about this real briefly on the thing, but Bobby Beamer has been a thorn in my side for a long, long time, ever since the Big Valley days. And we can go on from there. Oh, not him. That is the wrong one. I had 10. Yeah, but that one up. Yeah. So from there it goes through, and Bobby Beamer has been on my side for a long time. Yeah, there you go. That's right. You see that little shrimp there? Little dude in the red little tux. What that cost? Like $17? Got that at the thing. He's been getting monster after monster after monster to attack me for God knows how long. It's been a while because I don't really see him that much no more because Primo vanquished him. Oh, you see right there? He's got a freaking hockey stick to my man's back. He's been a thorn in my side for a long time. He's been hanging out with Congo Crush and Frank the Tank. Bobby Beamer, your dealership sucks. I'm letting you know that right now. Just a reminder. And, of course, him as well. He's been on my side for a long time, too. But he was hanging out with Beamer, and they've been doing a thing, too. And they both are on the darker sides of things. So I'm done with both of them. What do we got next?
Number 9 and number 8, Mondo Rocks and Robbie Lit with Sky High.
Look at those two dorks. Look at them. Look at those two dorks. Oh, yeah, Mondo Rocks and Robbie Lit. They've been a beta mic since I started my career. My first match is against Mondo Rocks, and Mondo Rocks beat me. And for months after that, him and his little brother were beating me and my teams. And see, here's a clip right here. Way back, this is the bigger Fresco. He hit me with the freaking spinning punch and then double teaming me out of nowhere and hitting me with a Trouble in Paradise. That was old Big Valley days, so don't mind the footwork there. But other than that, yes, Sky High, you have always. It's been a while since I faced you too, but I have not forgotten the battles we've had over titles, feuds, blood feuds. It has not gone away. You're always in my way when it comes to gold. I haven't forgotten that. What do we got next here?
Number 7 is Congo Crush.
Okay, this is where I start getting to my monster section of the Rogues Gallery. You see that big man right there in the orange Crush soda gear right there, Congo Crush. You know what's funny too? Congo's got the funniest voice. You look at him and he's like a monster, right? He's like, oh yeah, he's big. But when you hear him, it's like, yeah man, what's going on, dog? Shoot, hey man, I'll beat you down. Sound just like, look at his face, like Mike Tyson. And of course, I owe him one too. We had a big battle over a year ago now, and I still got my receipt waiting for you, Congo. Do not go anywhere. Heard he's doing big things in Hollywood.
Nice.
Yeah, but what do we got next?
Number 6, Cepha Fought 2.
All right, Cepha, you owe me, and you owe. Say that, hold on, real quick. Look at smack it.
Oh
Boom.
my God, I'm shocked
Here it
this is
is.
happening.
I go for the bulldog.
I told you, once he got rid of that other sandbagger,
pops. Just one of those things where, see right there, I got him back later on. 752 is, of course, royalty in the Samoan dynasty. He's one of the bloodline, but Lights Camera Faction is the reason he's been able to get this far because he went against us. Once you go against the faction, you're ready for big things. So, Cepha, you owe me one. If you ever get signed, you need to make sure you put my name on that because I did you a solid. All right? I did you a solid, Cepha. You know it. Oos. Noxus Pro, what's up, man? What do we got next on the list?
Number 5, Ricky Tenacious.
And there we go. One of my classic enemies that stands the test of time. We've battled many, many times at a point of exhaustion. And Ricky is a guy who just always seems to get in my way. Whenever I'm trying to do anything productive, there he is. See that face? Beautiful, isn't it? Just a beautiful face there. When he's not terrorizing people at FSW with his voice, he's terrorizing me, trying to get in the way of my glory in God. So there it is there. He's taking a shot from me back in the day, way back in the day, as you can see, body's a little different. But Ricky Tenacious will always be one of the biggest rivals in Fresco's gallery. Who's next? We're getting closer to more personal people.
Number 4 is Frank the Tank.
All right, Frank the Tank. This big mastodon. He has slammed me at least legit 7-8 different ways from just me coming at him for a line. He's look at him though. He's oh no. And he has been on me for a long time. 500 pounds. He was a heavyweight champion for a long time. Always, he took a lot of extra fun in beating me up. Particularly, he would even tell my girl on the side of the show, say, "Hey, watch. Hey, I'm gonna beat your man up today," and threaten her to me. So things get personal a lot. However, last time we faced, Frank, I beat you. So as far as I'm concerned, I'm on a different level. Go ahead.
Silly.
What's next on the list? I'm feeling good right now.
Number 3, Eli Quick.
All right. So we're getting down to the nitty gritties here. Eli Quick, he's been, he's creative. He's got all the skills of editing, all that too, and he's got all these different personalities and different career paths. He literally was on this show last time. I got extra security on this show to make sure this never happens again. This happened way too much, and we are not doing this no more on the Fresco Show. So Eli Quick. Oh, by the way, officially, our match, it goes down this Wednesday. So for everyone who doesn't know when I'm facing Eli Quick, I will see you Wednesday to defend the Fight Championship. So bring all that hoopla, all that talking is over. I will see you very, very soon. Who's in the top 2? Who's in the top 2? Who's number 2 on the list?
Number 2 is The Shade.
Timeless villain. Wolverine to Sabretooth. Havoc to Cyclops. Magneto to Professor X. Shade to Fresco. And look at that. We have had many battles and many words of war. However, he knows, and everyone knows, that he's still my son, and he's still only getting better because I want him to be better. And I forced him to be better. Look at him now. He's in great shape now. He's like a cool 205 pounds. I'm proud of you, Shade. You're doing fantastic with the body. I just need that receipt and that thank you in advance. Because, look at that. This is back. I waterboarded him right there. Thanks to Primo. I drowned him out, man. I drowned him out. Shade, you're doing great. Just remember what got you there in the first place. It wasn't Cody's gym. It wasn't any of that. It was Fresco-matic. You're welcome. Number 1.
Number 1, Hyper Street.
All right, I can put that annoying picture up. He's in trouble now. Hyper Streak has been the worst pain in my ass since my career has started. I've tried so hard to beat him and take him out, yet he always wins. The faction, we have went to great lengths to make his life miserable. We even took out Eli Quick to do it, yet he still finds a way to succeed. For now. Hyper Streak is never over between you and I. You wanted to be number 1 on this list, well, you got it. Whenever I see you, and if you so happen to win the Nevada State Championship, best believe the faction will be at your door. Knock, knock. Who's there? Only the most treacherous trio in FSW, here to make your life more hell. So Hyper Streak, I hope you're listening. I hope you're happy with your recommendation because you're on here. It also means your target will never be off your back. I will see you very soon. I need a drink. We will be right back, folks, for a quick commercial break, but do not go anywhere because Cutthroat Cody is coming up next, and we sit down and we chop it up. What's poppin'?
Are you looking for a reliable place to get a haircut? Or is it time for your man to get that shape up? Look no further than Las Vegas's own A1 Barbershop. Located in the heart of the Boulevard Mall to fulfill all of your hair needs. With top-tier barbers such as Slow, artist Cushy Jackson, and Fresco's personal barber Brennan.
What you got in this thing? See what you got up in here, huh? See what you got for me. What's in here? You remember 97 ECW? New Jack? Big Grimes? Hey, punk ass! Huh? Bats, huh? You messing with the wrong one. Burglar! You in trouble now! Whoa! Shut! Whoa! Shut!
Yeah. Ha ha. What's going on? You feel the flavor here, folks. You feel the flavor. Let me get my next little drink up. And guys, let's not waste any more time, folks. Coming to the stage right now, we got the former FSW No Limits champion, former tag team champion, and one of our favorite trainers in all of wrestling. Give it up for Cutthroat Cody. Ha ha. Yeah. All right. My man.
A wonderful
Oh,
set.
yeah, welcome, bro. Welcome, man.
Very professional.
Oh, man, you know.
My brain real quick, right?
Oh, look at that. He's good. Look at that.
Hey, 98.5.
Hey.
I remember that as a popular radio station back in time.
Oh,
man.
you know how it goes, man. You know how it goes.
All right, let me go ahead and get settled up here.
Right, yeah.
You're okay if I'm on the right of you?
No. I like that, man. Before I get started, man, do you drink any? Do you want a little shot or anything?
My friend, I think I'm going to be okay, but thank you very much for the offer, sir.
No problem. That means it's mo for the fly. Yes,
Absolutely.
sir. Yes, sir. Man, Cutthroat, man, I've been waiting a long time to get you on this show, so I'm happy to have you in this setting, man. First things first, how you feeling tonight?
I'm feeling okay.
Feeling good?
Got some shoulders in before I came over, got some
yeah.
food in, and I would like to say hello to the wonderful Miss Rice.
Absolutely,
Hello.
absolutely. You know, Cutthroat, man, you've got one of the most interesting wrestling stories when it comes to where you've gone to where you are now. Just looking at the current landscape of like today's wrestling, how do you feel Cutthroat Cody has evolved just in the last year?
Within the last year alone, I mean, honestly, you can probably, the body transformation as of now has been, it's a lot of work, right? And you know exactly, I was actually telling you off air how impressive it was to watch those old slides of you, and you can see it in your legs, you can see it in your back, and the confidence in being able to switch from wearing a garbage bag and with caution tape on it to then wearing long tights and a singlet, and now I'm wearing the short singlet, and just honestly, man, like the only thing I ever wanted to do was this, right?
Right.
And when I started, I was a low self-opinion type of guy, low confidence, had health issues growing up, and eventually I had to stop walking with crutches. And you get rid of one, you get rid of the other, and then you have to keep on pushing through. And the evolution is still going. Yeah. I mean, I'm still eating, I'm still lifting, I'm still training, and it's a lather, rinse, repeat type of thing. And let's see how much more I can change within the next year. I think that's the real challenge, what I'm facing myself to right now.
I mean, it seems like every year I see you, it's like a new version of Cutthroat. knowing you 2 years ago, you were a different body type. Now seeing you this year, it's just continually evolving. It's crazy to see. Growing up, when you were watching wrestling, was there any like hope that one day you could really do this for yourself? I know you had the things going on, but young, but did you still think about it at least?
So I was a big ECW fan, and I feel really bad to say this because I don't want to take the piss out of any of my old heroes, but when I was watching wrestling, I was idolizing people like Sandman and Mikey Whipwreck and Mick Foley and Tommy Dreamer, like guys that weren't really body guys, right?
Yeah.
But I saw myself being able to do what they did. And then eventually, once ECW folded, and then once Combat Zone Wrestling and XPW, Extreme Pro Wrestling out of California, once deathmatch wrestling kind of became a thing, I was actually gravitated towards that because I'm like, oh yeah, I can do that too. And it wasn't until I watched a documentary released by Sick Nick Mondo called Unscarred, where I realized, his career only lasted for about 2 years, and he's getting thrown off of roofs through light tubes and getting buckets of salt dumped on him and getting hit with weed whackers and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I made the decision for myself, well, I love wrestling, and I want to be able to do it as long as I possibly can. I need some new heroes. And I've actually had the opportunity to talk to Nick Mondo about that, and I actually thanked him. And, deathmatch wrestling is something that also I regret kind of doing some of that stuff in my past because you almost get kind of pigeonholed into that. I want to be a technical wrestler, and that's the way that I want to portray myself now. So it's my heroes changed for sure. I never saw myself being what I am today.
For sure, I got you, man. And you've also you watched also a lot of Japanese pro wrestling back, either back in the day or you watched that back in the day too as well.
So we talk about Fire Pro a lot, right?
Yeah.
So the very first Fire Pro game that I ever played was Fire Pro Wrestling D for the Sega Dreamcast, and Fire Pro for me kind of served as a learning tool because I would find the wrestlers and I'd find their real names, and then I'd end up finding matches from them, and it was kind of harder back then, but it was still possible.
Yeah.
And so my knowledge of Japanese wrestling actually came from playing Japanese wrestling games.
That's really cool. That's really cool because from my experience too, playing it, like, okay, a couple of guys who I didn't know about before, I'm like, oh snap, okay, I didn't really know who like Muda was and stuff like that, coming into it. I'm like, oh man, this dude. It was always cool to know that there was someone else across the world that was doing their thing too in the game, and like, oh man, he's over there killing it over there. So just that type of information is really cool. So what was the moment that you decided, you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and go for it. I'm gonna go and try to do the wrestling. What was the exact moment?
I had a lobectomy when I was 18 years old, and they removed the third lobe of my right lung. And it was at that moment that I realized when you have a near-death experience when you're young, it kind of puts things into perspective for you. And a lot of people go their entire lives without knowing anything as far as what they want to do when they grow up. And I always wanted to be a professional wrestler, and then it almost seemed like after I got my health issues in order that I was able to attempt to do so. So it was definitely at that moment that I made that decision, and I'm glad that I did.
Excellent, man. Excellent. We got some pictures coming up here. You can check it out here. Some pictures of it. A little bit of your past.
Oh no.
A little bit of your past. So you know how we do on the Fresco Show. We give context. So that right there is what we're talking about. just the big difference there between when or around the time you debuted and in between now. Like,
so even that picture on the left, right? That was actually after I had lost some weight, and the confidence that I had to take the top off of what that gear was. And then once again, like, I dieted a lot in the picture on the left, and all I did was calisthenics.
I got you.
Now on the right, and then even with a picture like that there, that I don't do cardio anymore. and I eat, pardon my French, my fucking ass off. And
How many calories?
I try to push for at least 4,000 a day.
Damn. Okay.
It went from 3 to 4, and I got to keep it comfortable every now and again. But I mean, I don't even look like the same person, and
Right.
sometimes the only way that I'm actually able to point out the fact that it is me is from the tattoos. And it's like, well, look at the tattoos. So
Man, that's awesome, man.
I'm thankful.
That is awesome. And of course, there we see you with your partner there, J Cafe. You know, you've got a lot of history, of course, in Las Vegas wrestling in general. You're one of the big icons around here. Multiple hats you've worn as far as different eras and different things. Like, see right here between this is my first match seeing you.
This is the first match
I ever saw of you.
That's a hell of a first match.
Yeah, so I was like, oh my, okay, this is Cutthroat Cody. C versus Jace battle for the No Limits title was like, okay, like one day I got to go to FSW. Like, because I seen that, like, wow, they created a moment. Like, if you can touch on that real quick, just kind of your early successes that you had, like, throughout your career, like FSW, maybe up there in the Northwest. What was it like for you, considering where you were at to where you were doing at that point?
Well, you know, when I first started, it was just kind of the only thing I ever really wanted to do was have a match, right?
Yeah.
That was like my goal. It's like I just want to have a match in front of people. It's the only thing I care about.
Yeah.
And then you set smaller goals for yourself as you go along. It's like, okay, well, I want to have a match maybe out of state. You know, maybe I want to be involved in a feud with somebody. And I never really had it in my mind with championships because I was aware of who I was at the time. And honestly, I wasn't good. Like, for the first 5 years of me wrestling, I wasn't naturally athletic. I had 2 left feet, and people kind of felt bad for me. And they would kind of like, hey, you should probably think about ring announcing or running music or being a referee and stuff like that. And I think I was just too stupid to catch the hint, you know, and to be able to go from all of those moments and then to have championships. I've had 2 match of the years. When I was up north, professional wrestling paid my bills for about 2 years. And
that's the goal, man.
And that's the goal for me right now too. And, you know, there's always peaks and valleys, right? I've had some really high moments. I've had some really low moments. I think that the biggest accomplishments for me, though, were the match of the years. I had a match of the year when I was teaming with Big Duke in the following against the Whirlwind Gentlemen, Remy Marcel and Jack Manley.
Yes.
And I also had a match of the year in 2016 with Funny Bone. And the series of matches I had with Jace Battle were really structured around Japanese wrestling psychology. And to be able to also have such a hand with the training staff over at Future Stars of Wrestling, I've taken a great amount of pride. Kevin Cross, Karrion Cross,
yeah,
his first day was with me. Chris Bay's first day was with me.
Man,
you know,
yeah, y'all hear that? So, you know, for a lot of times when you hear about, you know, the foundation of how we get our training, you know, you just heard 2 guys who went on to get signed saw this guy first.
Yeah, man.
Saw this guy first.
And that's not something that I want to, like, stand on a mountaintop and, like, I taught those kids everything that they know. Because, honestly, Karrion Cross and Chris Bay were signed before they even walked through the door, right? They looked like $1 million. They already looked the part. All they had to do was learn the trade.
Yeah.
I gave them a couple tools, right? And they put them in their tool shed, and then there was a bunch of other people that were able to help them out too. Remy Marcel is somebody that helped me a lot. Sin Bodhi was somebody that helped me a lot. The fact that we've had so many seminars with so many great people.
For sure.
A lot of this stuff, like, I make a lot of stuff on my own, right? But a lot of it I'm also parroting off of somebody else that told me that as well. So the longer you stay in the game, the more information that you get. And at some point, you're going to be able to pass that on to somebody. And I believe in helping.
Yeah.
I feel like back in the day, people had the keys to the castle, but they didn't want anybody else in the castle.
Absolutely.
It's a big castle, right?
Yeah.
You know, I don't like being alone. I want company. You know, I want you to hang out in the castle with me. And then when you succeed, I succeed. We all succeed together. And I have an immense amount of pride in what we do in Vegas. And I think that it's only a matter of time before we're able to showcase what we can do on a higher level.
Absolutely. Yeah, I totally agree, man. I feel like our current crop we got, I say this a lot, but our current crop right now in Vegas and specifically at Future Stars, man, is, real good, like top tier as far as just, people who are hungry, people who are ready to try to do the next level of things and really just the work ethic is all there. For the FSW roster, did you ever think also that you would become like this mentor slash coach? Such a with that also a big responsibility too. Having people to look to you for advice and often issues. When it comes down to it, how does that feel on you to have that type of responsibility for the last several years?
Not to get too personal, but when I grew up, I kind of grew up in like a broken home type of situation. I was the youngest person in my family, and my mother worked very hard, but I was raised in a single parent household. So a lot of the times she was at work and I was kind of left by myself to watch everyone around me fuck up. And I never imagined being in the position that I am now, but I'll never take for granted, that position. And there was somebody that's not around anymore, and for good reason. I remember that there was a period of time that I got injured, and then he went on social media and was flagging himself as a locker room leader. Nobody ever goes out and tells anybody that they're a locker room leader.
Yeah.
Right? That's not something that you put on an 8x10 to try to sell merchandise and shit.
Yeah.
And even today, I would never tell that to anybody on my own, but the fact that people say it about me, I will never jeopardize that trust that people have in me. And it's a lot of work sometimes, but at the same time, I know I can do something to change the way that things are now, and I will fight. And if it's a hill that I have to die on, I'll die on the hill. But everyone deserves to be happy in life, especially in what we're doing, because man, we're having fun, right?
Yeah, for sure.
And sometimes it gets hard because we all expect more of ourselves and things of that nature. And in times where people need help, I offer them help. And in times where people need to hold themselves accountable, I might do it for them. But it's always because I want them to be better, not just in wrestling, but as people.
For sure. Yeah. A lot of times, man, in our industry, there was a lot of situations where, people didn't necessarily, have the right wherewithal to do the right thing. And I think now for our current crop and for our current situation, we want to make sure that everyone's got, a good head on their shoulders to conduct good business, because we don't want to hear that stuff anymore. We don't want those type of things happening in the locker room. So, it's good to have someone like you watching the helm who really gives a shit about what we're doing and how, because a lot of times people are doing things for themselves, and I think to have that better protection for the business and for people for good people, it goes a long way, because it just makes everything easier when you're trying to do stuff.
1,000%. And talent's not exclusive to good people.
Yeah.
But just because you're not a good person doesn't mean that somebody doesn't have the right to call you out on your bullshit. And I give a lot of people headaches, and I have no problem with that, because they give me headaches too. So if I'm the fucking Advil, I'll be the Advil. I have no problem with that.
Yeah, for sure. I got you. Man, so with you and J Cafe, you made a proclamation earlier this year that you guys were going to, rev shit up in the FSW tag division. Could you elaborate a little bit on that?
So we call ourselves the Big Fight Boys, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so nothing's a throwaway match, right? Every single match we go into, it doesn't matter if the tag team championships are on the line, because it's not like the tag team championships actually exist. Kenny King,
Shogun,
Shogun. I love you guys to death, and if anything, congratulations, Kenny. But as of right now, what matters the most in our division? It's the matches, right?
Yeah, the matches matter.
The matches matter the most, because there's nobody that's really running the belts.
Yeah,
and until the belts come back to the division, then we're in a situation to where every time we go out, in my opinion, it's based on fan reaction. Like now it's a popularity contest because we actually don't have a top of the division. And in all candor, look at the tag division.
Oh man, we're like super stacked. It's one of the weirdest things ever to be super stacked and to not have the belts being ran. But of course, y'all have had some issues with the Unguided the last several weeks.
I think the issues with the Unguided are actually issues with themselves. Because honestly, man, like I'm not the type of person to like talk trash, but Damian Drake can't even wear the same outfit, like no matter what. Like the guy is having an identity crisis every single day, and Matt Vandergriff just sits in the corner and laughs about it. And the name The Unguided, in my opinion, is very fitting. Because it seems like you don't have very much guidance.
Ooh.
And you could probably use some. So, at the end of the day, second-rate following, right? When,
No.
right?
Oh!
But I'm not even the one that drew that comparison. That's a
Yeah,
comparison that's
I've
being
heard that
drawn
before,
by
too,
others.
yeah.
So, but here's the difference between what I was doing in the following and what they're doing now. I don't need to paint my fingernails to express who I am as a person. I can tell you that I'm a fucking badass, and you're going to believe it. Because when I say that, you look at me in the eyes, and then you have to decide on whether you want to cross the line or whether you want to back the fuck up. That's it.
Excellent. That's definitely. Remember, folks, they faced off last time, and they went to Nefarious Needs to get the dub over Death Proof. I feel like we got to run that back sometime soon.
Well, and you know, I Joe DeFalco, I'll give him this. I think that he's not going to put me on a commentary table anymore when it comes to commentating their matches because he understands that it's probably not a good idea.
I listen to that.
Yep. And that's another thing too is that we already got taken care of. And once again, like if I cared about the tag titles right now, I'd probably be mad at the Unguided. But you want to know what? I actually want them to win the tag team championships because if I'm going to beat anybody, I want to beat them. I don't want to beat Kenny. I don't want to beat Shogun. I mean, I would love to have a match with Kenny and Shogun, but I would, if I'm going to take anything from anybody, I'm going to take the bottle away from the babies. You get what I'm saying?
I got you.
Hear them cry about it.
I got you.
Put them to sleep.
I got you. You know, definitely, we would love to see the tag division back in full form and decorated crown. Even though the Unguided is very heinous and evil, I wouldn't mind seeing them new champs because that means that we will see them often and available. Madam Rice, we got a little game here for Cutthroat Cody. I got a one-word association game. I got a list of people who I put down, and I want you to give the first word that comes to mind when his name is said.
Okay.
Got you?
I'm bad at these games because I think too much.
Madam Rice, go ahead.
All right, creature feature.
Creature feature, I really wish that I would not have spent so much time with those boys because they are evil.
What have you guys done? You and Primo are turned those sweet little boys into vile creatures, vile monsters.
And well, and it's fun to watch when you're not having to be involved with it. I can tell you that much.
Yes.
But yep, damn boys, just damn.
All right,
Next up.
Jace Battle.
Jace Battle. Jace. I've had some of the most important moments in my life with Jace Battle, and it was to the point where he actually had me officiate his wedding.
Wow.
So, sir, I hope that you were doing well. I hope the family is well, and I will cross paths with you soon.
Excellent.
Funny Bone.
I learned a lot from being beat up by him, as many people do.
Many people do.
Bone was another person that had a huge hand in my upbringing. I actually trained with him before I was actually officially signed to a wrestling school. So him and Matt Hampton. So if you're watching this, Matt Hampton, huge shout out to you as well.
For sure.
The Following.
The Following, it was the fucking NWO of FSW. Like, there's no doubt in my mind.
One of the craziest eras in FSW history, for sure.
I definitely don't like being a cool heel, but we were pretty cool.
If there was any chance to do it, it was during that time.
Yeah,
for
man.
sure. For sure.
Yeah, man.
For
All right,
sure.
Joe DeFalco.
Joe. Joe DeFalco gives me headaches. I give Joe DeFalco headaches. That's the best way to put Joe.
Headaches.
Yes. We both give each other headaches. But no, I'm very thankful for everything that Joe has done. Honestly, it's funny to me, just to defend Joe real quick, there's a lot of people that just don't get Joe, right? Or they always have a problem with Joe or something like that.
Right.
And I think that it's because they're too concerned with what's going on with them as opposed to looking at the broad picture. Joe went from running 7 match cards to 10 match cards.
Yeah, and most companies still don't really do that. They want to keep it, short, keep it low. He still does 9, 10 match cards on some nights.
The reason why there's a bunch of multi-mans is because he's trying to get a spot for everybody on the show.
Yeah.
He's trying to make sure that he's doing his best, not only just for the fans, but also for the people that attend the school.
Yeah.
So even as many headaches between each other as we give Joe DeFalco, honestly, I couldn't be more thankful for him.
Absolutely. Me too, man. Me too.
FSW.
It's a company that I feel like I have made with blood, sweat, and tears, along with many other people. It's been going for over a decade, and it's my heart and soul.
Yeah,
J Cafe.
That's J Cafe is my brother. The very first time that I met Jacob Austin Young, I was doing ring crew for a company called Elite Extreme Wrestling in Arizona, and he knew who I was before I even introduced myself to him.
Wow.
And he said he was thinking about moving to Vegas. And lo and behold, he moved to Vegas and now he's a pro wrestler.
Yeah.
And he's my tag team partner. If you're watching this, brother, I'm looking forward to seeing you this weekend, and we are going to tear some shit up.
Oh yeah, oh hell yeah. They back on the mound. Is that all we got for the Board Association?
Yep.
All right, excellent. Man, Cutthroat, I just want to give you a quick little thing, man. You've really made sure that I've, had some growing, and you made sure that I was good. I grew up playing a lot of disciplined sports, so I was never opposed to, being yelled at or being disciplined in things. And overall, man, I really want to thank you for kind of just putting extra time into me, into my career, and helping me get my shit together as far as the fundamentals and just the attention to details on things, because having those kind of in my wheelhouse now makes me a much more confident competitor in the ring. And I wasn't always like that for sure. So it's kind of wild. Even though I always knew you would be hard on me, I never dreaded coming to your classes, because I always knew that you were going to give me like the stuff I needed to hear when maybe I wasn't ready to hear it, but I knew I needed to hear it. So just big props to you, man. You know what I mean?
Do you know the reason that I wanted to do this?
What's that?
Because you opened yourself up to make yourself better. And there's a lot of people, I try to help everybody. And there's people that absolutely don't listen to me, and there are people that are intimidated by me. But even as loud as I get, I always put my hand on their shoulder, right? And I let them know that I got them. And I got you, and I got everybody else that's willing to listen. However, on the opposite end of that spectrum, there's a lot of people that I've given advice to, and they don't listen to me. And that's not on me. That's on you. At the end of the day, I want to be better. And I want everyone to be better with me. Because once again, if one of us succeeds, we all succeed.
For sure.
And that's how we all get to the next level. That's how you transcend. Thank you for giving me the time to speak, and thank you for having me. This is a dope setup.
Oh, man. Yeah, the best setup in the town, man. Best
1000%.
setup in the town. That is all the time we have here tonight. From my man here, Cutthroat Cody, from Madam Rice, I am the street sweeper, the fly, the baddest man alive. Do not go anywhere. We will see you at the next time for the Fresco Show, folks. Check out my Instagram. Check out my Twitter, Facebook at the Fly Fresco-Matic. Go to Pro Wrestling Tees at Fresco-Matic. Also, check out Madam Rice's channel for all your favorite hair tutorials, bro. We are almost out of time, folks. I'm outro, and keep it locked. Everything is only temporary, but Fresco's forever. Hallelujah. cut the check. Yeah.